You ever have that epiphany?
Oh my gosh, yes. That's like so dangerous.
The bourbon takes about 30 hours.
A package of 2 and they're 79 cents a piece.
This will help support it as well because it's a thicker steel.
But it's very good.
Maybe covered by your insurance.
Good morning and happy 4th of July. Getting close. We've got it's about 2 weeks left. And we're going to be heading out of Iowa finally and moving on to some new adventures. I think my mom might be coming over, my sister.
Absolutely flawless in every way.
Son and granddaughter might come over for fireworks tonight.
That's the day I'm having right now. I pinch my arm to believe.
Decided to pop out the grill for the 4th of July, make some breakfast. A couple times having our granddaughter over, had a lot of fun.
I wish I could stay right here and never leave.
Well, that was pretty much our July 4th weekend.
2 days straight, we went over to see our good friends Terry and Carrie and their family and their grand doggies. That was pretty fun.
I wish I could stay right here and never leave.
What's in that bag, Pie? The day before yesterday, I got thinking about this awning, and I noticed these little holes in like the hooks where the locks are, and then on the wheels. And I'm like, now wait a minute. Those holes are like the same size. They gotta be for something. And then yesterday, when you ever have that epiphany?
Like,
you know what I'm trying? So I went to get the pole that you grab the strap with, and I was looking at both ends of it, and I was like, let me show you this. So here's the pole, and it has a real curved end and a little end like this. I don't know how many times, nobody's ever told us anything about this awning other than pulling it out. Nothing about what both ends of this is for. And we saw another couple that had an Airstream on YouTube, and he was always jumping up trying to spin those wheels. Well, yesterday I was like, this is what that's for. You put this in those little holes and you turn it, so you do not need a ladder. I'm sure a bunch of you have already known this, but obviously we're not alone. You put it in the hole and you can unloosen it. Then you pull it off to the side like that. Now we come down here. So you got your lock up here. Same size hole, and you just twist it to unlock it. Same thing with this one as far as unscrewing it. Put it in one of the holes, pull it off to the side. Now you take your hook, and I'm pretty sure that this side of the hook is to put it in that strap so it doesn't slip off, but it's really hard to get this big hook side into that strap. And I've seen, like at Vinny's North Bay Airstream, I've seen him use this little end. It's easier to get it in there. You just got to be careful, because if that slips out, that whole thing's going to go wham. What? Wham.
Okay.
So you got to be really careful. And then I've been looking at some little things. Oh God, I just hit you in the boob. Cut. Then I've been kind of taking a look around here, looking for little things that need to be done before we take off. We've been here for about 2 months. We'll be here 2 months, and getting ready to take off on our adventures again. It's been nice to see family and grandkids, but I think it's about time we're ready to take off. We went to see the Revelton Distillery.
Whiskey.
It's a Harvest Host. It's off I-35. Oh gosh, it's raining.
And I
left the umbrella.
Once you see what's on the table here, don't judge us. One of them's a gift for a friend.
Oh, you mean the amount?
Right. How many bottles we got here? This one's a gift. Don't judge.
I got the Latte Love, which has this whiskey cream liqueur in it.
Okay.
And you got the Old Fashioned, which has the honey flavored whiskey in it.
You try yours yet?
Okay, no, I was waiting. I like how much there is of it, by the way.
What's in yours? Coffee?
Oh my gosh, yes. That's like so dangerous.
Really that good?
Like I could just suck this down right now. It's so good.
And what was that called again? You remember what it was called? Okay, you come on now.
Latte Love.
Latte Love. Wow. That is the smoothest whiskey I've ever had. Now, I haven't had a lot of whiskeys, but it's got a honey in it. Now, Rob and Christy Taylor, that owns this place, they opened a honey business. So they incorporated that honey into their whiskey. If you try this, you will be amazed how smooth this is. If you're a whiskey connoisseur.
Do I get to try?
All right. I need to try yours.
No.
This is all I drink. And my eyes are feeling really funny right now. Do they look funny?
No,
Oh yeah, we had 3 samples earlier.
We have meats and cheese and nuts and fruit.
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 Is that anywhere related to fruit?
So it normally does come with crackers, but since we're trying to be gluten-free because of Brian.
But the question here is fruit and fruit, are they the same?
Yes, they are the same.
Okay. First of all, we've noticed that our Verizon service doesn't work so well here. In fact, we have 0 bars. AT&T and that T-Mobile, we don't know because we took the truck here and those units are still back at Stella. I'm gonna stay one night, might not be such a big deal, just passing through. I'm gonna stop at this place. Is a definite must stop if you're a member of Harvest Host and you're into, they have vodkas, gins, whiskeys. This is right next to I-35, so it's very easy on and off. You pull into their driveway, you come around the left side and park right against that right-hand side if you have an RV. And then right across the other side of the interstate, I don't know if you can see it or not, that side right there is the casino, Lakeside Casino. They usually have a buffet over there, but it is closed right now. But they do have a restaurant in there as well. So
Black Bins is a combination of barley, corn, and rye, and then that gets ground up and goes into these fermenting tanks, where depending on the mash bill, it can take between 24 and 36 hours. So the bourbon takes about 30 hours typically. In there is a mixture of juniper, various coriander, lemon peel, lime peel, orange peel, and angelica root. So the more juniper heavy it is, you get a more piney, like tree sappy flavor. That's called a London dry gin. We didn't really want that in our gin.
this is the bottling room?
Yep, the big machine that you see going around is the bottler for the big 750 milliliter bottles.
Okay.
And that little vat connected to the handle is the bottler for the little 50 mLs. We used to actually do those by hand with syringes. That sucked. That was a pain. Yeah, the bottles start over there, go around the conveyor. You can kind of vaguely see The corker over there, that's semi-automatic, so it automatically puts the corks on it, but you have to load them by hand. And then it gets dated at the machine with the lights over there, so it has a batch number and a date, so if somebody brings back a bottle, we can look at that and compare it to a bottle that has something wrong with it.
Didn't realize so much went into making this.
Yeah, it's a heck of a process.
I was out looking at the Airstream outside, and I found a couple of these little black caps like this on the windows that was missing the cap part, and the screws look like they're getting a little bit rusted. So I went online and started looking, and I found some, and it was going to be like $9 in shipping. I said, well, why don't I go down to Lowe's and look in their little drawers, all the little bolts and miscellaneous things. Sure enough, they had the exact same ones. Come in a little package like this from a company called Hillman, and it come in a package of 2, and they're 79 cents a piece. So I said, well, maybe they have the screws that go in there too, so I can get rid of those 2 rusted screws. And a drawer just right below those were the screws, exact same color, size, everything. I got a few extras just to have them on hand in case some others pop off. What happens is it's got a little tiny piece of plastic on there holding it, and you fold that over and it snaps down over the screw. That's so thin right there that those can break off easily. We've only got 2. So I'm not sure if they've replaced them before us or not, any of them. But I got some extras just in case they do. So here's your screw, and here's the little cap. That screw goes in, so that screw holds that cap down so the cap can't come off. But it's this little piece right here that breaks off easy. And as you can see, it's starting to break off. So I am going to replace that one. In fact, there it went. It just fell off. So I'm going to go ahead and put a new one on. Put that on here. It's real simple. Just put the nut on and tighten it down. Hold the back side of your nut here so that it doesn't spin on you. Put your drill on the right direction. That always helps. And just snug it down. Don't want to over tighten it on that glass. And now all I got to do is snaps into place, and that one's done. Now I just got 2 more to do and should be good. And the other ones are rusted. The screws are rusted, so I'm going to replace those screws on those. You know how our Alda system is underneath our bench, and that bench is enclosed, so all the heat is contained inside that bench. So I came up with an idea.
So I came to Lowe's, and I'm looking for a piece to put on that panel on the side of that bench there in the Airstream, because it's solid and all that heat's contained in there. So if I can get like a screened, something heavy duty that will breathe, take it to a upholstery shop somewhere, have them take that fabric off, cut a hole out, and put a screened in area in the middle is what I'm thinking. And I found something here in this aisle at Lowe's. It's next to the area where they have these the angle iron and stuff like that. They have this here. It's only about 10 bucks, $10.28 here. Home Depot, I believe, has it too. And it's a really heavy gauge. When I go to have that hole cut out, I'm only going to do like a 4-inch width, the height actually, so that I don't lose so much of the wood and don't lose much of the structure integrity, so that when I take that panel on and off, that this will help support it as well, because it's a thicker steel. And then we'll paint this, and should be good, because that wood the Airstream uses, it's one of your higher grades of plywood, so that helps too. There's a lot of things in the Airstream that's just made of better materials. Go on and pick up the panel. Said it's done. And there it is. I think it looks pretty darn good. It'll help ventilate. I still got a little bit of the material left if I want to put that on the front part. Oh,
Might as well release this air cushion while I'm in here. It's just this little yellow handled valve. It lets a little water out down below. That just lets the pressure off the tank. And there we go. Kind of cool. And when you're standing up here, you actually don't see anything. When you get down here, you can kind of see what's in there, but that's all right. We've tested this with this cover completely off, and it does not cause any heat in here. With this on and only having this little bit of a air vent hole there, I'm sure we're not going to notice it, but it will be enough to relieve some of that heat from inside. If I want to, we can put another one on this other side if we'd like to. Then we were trying to get on this keto diet again, and in order for us to survive on this diet, for us to survive, we have to have our pie, right? Well, I told her I was going to find this keto coconut cream pie recipe. I'm going to ace that baby so she can have her coconut cream pie. Here's that coconut cream pie we're talking about. Yeah, we may have ate some of it already. But there's the other half. Just look at that. Isn't that purty? Purty. I said purty. She hates that word, by the way. Yeah. There's no pudding. It's homemade custard, coconut filling, and homemade whipped cream. No sugar, 0 sugar, and almond flour crust. That I've made both. I made one that you don't bake, and this one's that you bake. It's not a Sherman's Deli coconut cream pie.
But it's very good.
So all those coconut cream pies that you've eaten besides Sherman's Deli, how would you rate it?
I'd say it's at least an 8, don't you think?
I'm a little biased, though. Since we were getting ready to leave and travel, that's when all the anxiety hits you, worrying about things that go wrong, that could go wrong. When I had cars through my whole life, I never ever bought an extended warranty, just the warranty on the car if it was a new car. But an RV, you gotta weigh the pros and cons of how much of the work can you do yourself, figure out the cost of having things, certain big ticket items fixed, and see if it's worth it for you to have that extended warranty. Some models it is. Well, with ours, we bought this Airstream, and luckily it had an extended warranty from the previous owners that they transferred over to us. We contacted Wholesale Warranties, had a little Zoom meeting, and asked them some questions, some of the common questions. We've been asked quite a bit these last 2.5 years, and some of these questions we really didn't know because all these warranty companies can be different. I want to thank Stacy for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Stacy. I am the marketing director for Wholesale Warranties. I have been with the company for almost 12 years now, and I love it because I know that we are offering this awesome service to the RV community in being able to really help them protect the adventures, right? So we get to live vicariously through so many RVers and all of the amazing places that you guys go. And it feels really good to know that at the end of the day, if you're covered with Wholesale Warranties, we have your back. And those really expensive RV repairs, those really stressful RV repairs that take so long sometimes and can really kind of sideline those trips and those reasons that you got into RVing in the first place. We want to make that easier, quicker, and a lot cheaper because we'll pick up the repair bill. So that's what we're all about at Wholesale Warranties, is just protecting those adventures and keeping you guys on the road where you belong.
Can you tell us the benefits going with an online broker instead of a dealership?
So I think one of the biggest benefits of working with a company like Wholesale Warranties is we're focused on education and options. So usually when you're purchasing from a dealer, you are sitting down at the end of a very long day in a finance office. You are like finally getting so close to getting the keys, right? And like getting that RV and being able to hit the road. And then they're going to talk to you about warranties. And it's been a long day. You usually don't go through a lot of options. They'll say, hey, here's this plan. It adds this much per month. And you kind of make a yes or no decision right there. With Wholesale Warranties, we are dedicated to providing options to the RVer, to providing education, so you know exactly what you're getting into, exactly what it does cover and what it doesn't. And not every RVer is the same. So we have a lot of different levels of coverage, and you'll work with an RV warranty specialist that is just here to know those warranty contracts, to answer those warranty questions. They are the expert in those warranties. And they're going to match you up with a policy that makes the most sense for how you RV, what your budget looks like. Maybe you're super handy and you do some of your own repairs. Well, we may not put you into the same program as a first-time RVer who doesn't travel with a toolkit, right? So there's so many different types of RVers. And so it's really important to find that personalized coverage, make sure you're in a program that you fully understand, and that you have the time to read through and educate yourself on. We always recommend, coming to us before you've actually purchased so that you can walk into that dealership the day that you're there to finally pick it up and know about coverage already. If you do want to look at the dealer's program, compare apples to apples. This gives you a lot of confidence to make that right choice as an RVer when you work with somebody that has a lot of options and a lot of time to educate you on what they're good at, and we're good at RV warranties.
What are the main differences?
So a lot of contracts are going to be similar. It's just knowing what level of coverage that you want. So some things that you'll want to look for is making sure that you can take the RV to any licensed repair facility, US or Canada. That's what all of our programs allow you to do, because you don't always break down close to home, right? You don't always break down close to your dealership. And some of those dealer programs, they're actually going to require you to come back to their repair facility if you're within 100 miles when you have that breakdown. That's not always, the easiest thing to do when you have a breakdown. We want you to be able to take it to any mechanic, anyone that you're familiar with. And we also just want you to know the level of coverage. And so, again, not every dealer offers the different levels of coverage, the different options. So while a lot of the contracts might end up being pretty similar, a lot of people, when they do sign that at the dealer, they do just go with that first option. They don't really know what the coverage is. And so it kind of comes down to knowing your coverage, knowing your options, and where you can take that unit that makes it so so much easier sometimes to go with an online provider.
Can anyone purchase a warranty at any time?
Yeah, so that's another benefit of going with an online provider is you don't have to purchase, right then when you're buying the unit. At Wholesale Warranties, we are able to offer coverage to a wide array of RVers and an extended eligibility there too. So we can offer to motorhomes as old as 20 model years and towables as old as 15 model years and newer. And so if you have a used unit, if you're buying from a private party or if you are buying from a dealership, we can kind of give you those options regardless of where you're at in your RV journey. You can come to an online provider and get coverage where traditionally you kind of had to make that decision that day at the dealership, or you were kind of, out of luck. So that's another big benefit of working with an online provider is we can kind of meet you where you're at in your RV journey.
So they probably just have to go through like an inspection?
Yeah, so on a used unit, what we do is an inspection before your coverage goes into effect. And that protects you as the RVer and the warranty company as well. We're just looking to make sure that that used unit is in good working condition, that there aren't any active failures. If there are pre-existing conditions, those items aren't going to be covered until they get fixed. And so that allows us, to protect the warranty companies from paying claims on things that were broken prior to the warranty going into effect. But it also protects the RVers. So if you have that inspection, you get that, good bill of health, everything is good. And a week later, you have a big failure. The warranty company can't really say, hey, that's a pre-existing condition, because we had that inspection showing that everything was in good working condition when the policy went into effect. So that inspection allows us to offer to that large eligibility of used units and feel really good about the coverage that we're putting on those.
So if somebody was going to go to a dealership and they were thinking they're going to purchase an RV, and they knew that they didn't want to get a warranty through the dealership, and they knew they wanted to get one through a broker like Wholesale Warranties, because I'm guessing that the inspection has to be done by somebody that Wholesale Warranties select, so they could probably contact you first before they go to the dealership and have that inspection done before they purchase.
Yes, exactly. That's how we prefer to have everything happen. So we work with a network of RV inspectors that are nationwide, and they come out to your location. So if the RV is at a dealership, they'll go to the dealership. If it's at your home, they'll go there. And we love to have that inspection complete and that warranty in place before you drive off the lot, because it's just one less thing for you to worry about. You have your new rig, go take it on an adventure. Don't worry about the warranty. So we do often have that happen where the inspection takes place at the dealership. and we get that clean bill of health and we get that policy activated before you're all set.
Can you talk about the payment options and how those would work?
Sure. So we have a couple of different options available to all of our customers. Usually what you'll find with wholesale warranties is that the longest term that we are able to offer is usually the best price. And so we will lock you in for, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. And you can pay that all up front, or you can do a payment plan and pay it off over a couple of months. But it is nice to be able to pay for just the warranty. There's no additional interest on the financing or anything like that. Sometimes when you're rolling a warranty into a loan, you end up paying for a 5-year warranty for the next 20 years. And so while it seems like a small add-on at the time, you end up paying quite a bit for your warranty. So we do have those financing options. We do give you a little bit of a discount if you pay in full for the coverage. And yeah, that's kind of how we work our pricing so that we have options available to our RVers.
So how long are the policy terms?
We have between 1 and 7 years, and everything that goes into the quote that you get, and that's going to be your term, also the cost, things that we're taking into consideration, the age of your unit, the mileage, if it is a motorized unit, the value of the unit, and how recently you purchased it, meaning is there any manufacturer warranty still remaining on your unit. And so all of that is going to determine how long of a policy you can get and what the cost is going to be. Brand new units, we can go right up to that 7 years. And it is going to be the best price you ever get, right? Because they're assuming that those brand new units are going to break down a little bit less often, and the manufacturer warranty is still in place. So they're probably not going to pay any claims in that first year. Your manufacturer warranty is going to take precedent. And so the best rate you're ever going to get is when your RV is brand new. They're going to give you the longest term at the lowest price. But on a used unit, we can go up to 3 and 4 years. And again, locking in that longer term usually gives you the best cost per year value. That being said, if you're only going to keep it another year and you only want to cover it for a year, we can definitely help you out there as well.
What if someone sells their RV? Can they cancel the policy or the extended warranty at any time?
Yes. So all of our policies are fully cancelable or transferable. So if you sell your unit directly to another private party, you can actually transfer the remaining warranty to them. And that's actually a really good benefit when you are selling your unit, because it comes with that coverage and the buyer knows that it's been covered. You've probably taken care of anything that has failed. So it's a really nice benefit if you are selling private party. If you're trading it in to a dealership, you'll go ahead and cancel that policy and you'll be issued a prorated refund based on the amount of the term that you have available. And then if you are buying a new unit after that, you can actually just apply that refund amount towards a policy on your next unit, and we can lock you into some coverage on that as well.
What kind of coverage can warranties offer?
The most comprehensive policy that you can get is called an exclusionary policy. That level of coverage is going to tell you exactly what it won't cover. And if it's not on that list, then it is covered. And so that's going to cover everything from your engine, if you have a motorhome, to your appliances, heating and cooling components, waste systems, and pretty much anything that you're using on a daily basis, things like leveling systems, slide outs. And then on that exclusionary policy, that's also the best option if you have luxury components on your RV. So if you've got a washer dryer or solar panels or some of those added bells and whistles, an exclusionary plan is going to be great for you. The next step down from that is we call it a listed component or a comprehensive coverage. It's going to cover a lot of those same items. It just has, a little bit less of those bells and whistles coverage, and it's going to tell you exactly what it does cover. If it's not listed as covered, then it's not going to be covered by the contract. And so it's kind of the inverse of an exclusionary policy in that way. Again, things you can expect to be covered are your engine, appliances, heating and cooling, leveling system, slide outs, all those big ticket items that we see fail. You're still going to get really good coverage on that with a comprehensive plan. And then we kind of pair back from there, specifically with motorhomes. If you are somebody that is just worried about that engine failure, that like $35,000 engine repair, we have something called a powertrain only coverage. And so that's going to come at a lower cost than these other plans, and it's just going to cover those powertrain components. It's a great option for like a catastrophic coverage failure, that peace of mind that those really, really big ticket items are going to be covered. Or if you're somebody that fixes a lot of your own stuff, then maybe just, scale back to a powertrain policy. And then the last item is going to be a coach-only coverage, which is, again, it's the inverse of a powertrain. So it covers everything in the coach, but it doesn't cover your engine. That's something that people choose to do if they have a really solid manufacturer coverage on their powertrain still, and they're not super worried about that, but they do want to get coverage for those internal components. And so with all of those, what isn't covered is equally as important as what is. And that kind of comes down to a couple of different categories. Anything that is covered by your comp and collision insurance, so damages due to weather or to accidents, physical damages, those are going to be specifically excluded by a warranty. That's going to go to your normal RV insurance company, right? Other items are going to be aesthetic items. So warranties are built for mechanical and electrical components. They aren't going to fix things like tears in fabric or scratches to the outside of your RV window, like glass that is broken. Those items aren't going to be covered. And then any normal maintenance that you need to do on your RV, so oil changes, cleaning, things like that, those aren't going to be covered either because they're not failures. So really those warranties are built for those mechanical and electrical components, things that go and move and have engines and things like that. Those are going to be what's covered by your warranty.
Say somebody has their RV in storage and a mouse eats through a bunch of wires. Does the warranty still cover that?
No, so pets are going to be something that's kind of maybe covered by your insurance, but that's going to be like a physical damage. We have seen that. We saw one of the most interesting claims that I worked with, and it's actually on an ATV. So it was a while ago. It was a powertrain coverage. A squirrel had been storing corn in the engine of this ATV for the winter. And so it was the only time I ever saw a repair invoice come in with the failure as corn. It was a very confusing one to see, but unfortunately those aren't going to be covered. So again, another recommendation is check out your RV in storage. Don't let it just sit there. Make sure it's, getting some love during those winter months and those storage months. Because unfortunately that wouldn't be a covered item. Warranties aren't for everybody. We know that they haven't always had the best reputation. We definitely work to turn that around. Wholesale Warranties is built to actually be there for the RVer. We're customer service forward. But if nothing else, get a free quote and see what's available to your RV. See what the coverage details are and chat with us. There's really nothing to lose. And I think there's a lot of power and confidence in being educated on what you can do for your RV. And how you can protect your budget from these repair costs. We see them, we see these claims every single day. And especially right now with kind of the boom in travel, that we're seeing those labor rates really go up. It's tougher to get into repair shops. It's tougher to get your hands on parts. So I think more than ever, protecting yourself from those costs is something that you should at least look into and make your decision from there. So always worth checking it out. Quotes are free and we're here to help.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate your time. I think that should answer a lot of questions.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And we'll catch you next week.
Let's call it a day.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click that little bell, and hit that thumbs up. See you next week.